Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square here with T-Square Talk. I hope everybody's having a great day. I got a great video for you guys today, and this is something I really want to talk about. Because when I read this comment, I was like, oh, no. I don't think it's going to go down quite like that, but we're going to talk about this. It's an exciting comment. It's an exciting video. If you guys enjoy it, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button for me. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts, how you think this is going to play out. And if you're not subscribed, take a quick minute, hit that subscribe button. So right off the bat, I say that's not quite how it's going to play out. So I kind of disagree with the comment, but like I said, he's a good friend of mine. He's a member of the channel. And so nothing here is meant to be in the opposite, I guess you can say. I do agree with the first two lines of the comment. Don't get me wrong. So, and you'll get that in a minute. Okay, one of the few stacking channels I watch and listen to every day now. I enjoy your interesting discussions. Sometime it'd be fun to hear your take on the possibilities of what might happen when gold and silver skyrocket in value, and how all stackers who are in big profits are going to be met with non-buying dealers, unable to come up with the sums of money, the huge sums of money in dollars to meet the desires to sell. I stack because it's fun. I've always been a collector. I like collecting coins. I'm old, I'm OCD, and that was it. Laugh out loud. Okay, so yeah, I'll be honest, I'm a little OCD too, especially when I get into something. I'm a little hardcore. So what might it be like? Okay, so here's kind of what I think is going to happen. I'm gonna get to this because I don't think you're going to have a hard time selling. Not at all. We've seen time and time again, specifically in 2011, when stores literally, there was nobody was having a hard time selling because everybody was buying. It was insane. So let's talk a little bit about what could happen. So how could this happen? The first thing that I think is going to happen is we're going to see rate cuts as early as 2 weeks. How much of a rate cut are we going to see? Maybe 0.5%, maybe 1/4%. It's not going to matter because almost no matter what they do, it's not going to work out for them, I don't believe. I think that if they do 0.5%, it's going to send a signal to the markets that stuff is bad. And because it's bad, it's going to scare people. If they don't do any interest rate cuts, that's going to be bad too, because the market is not happy right now. They want a rate cut and they want cheap money again. And so they're going to get some kind of a rate cut. The question is going to be how much. I think they're probably going to roll out 1/4% and then say, leave that carrot dangling for the next meeting. Now, do I think it's going to skyrocket the price of silver right off? No, I don't think that. I think that that will have a nice little jump. I think it also could come back down still a little later, but I think we're going to see a nice jump. I think that the markets are eventually going to tank. This can't keep up the way this is going. I mean, if they get 0.5%, they're going to get a big pop in the stock markets too at first. And eventually, smart money is going to start selling. I mean, everything going on right now is just ridiculous. You look at how much the debt is going up, how fast it's going up. It's at like $35.3 or $0.4 trillion now. There's no end in sight to this. All they can do is keep printing money. And you're seeing, I'll say, some sell-offs in the market. You're seeing low interest rates overseas. In Japan, you're seeing a lot of things happening that's going to propel silver and gold to new heights. And I really think next year, for sure, we're probably going to see an all-time high. Now, I know some people out there are going to be like, always next year, always next year. You know, I've never said we were going to see an all-time high this year. I expected we would see $35 or $40 this year. And, you know, we're not super far off. I know some people are saying $35. That's pretty bullish. I think we're going to see a new 3250 again, or take that out probably next month. And I've been saying that for a little while. Time will tell. We're only talking now 4 weeks away from that. So I'll be mentioning that a couple times. But on to what will happen. When silver goes up, There's a lot of cash out there. And by cash, I don't just mean cash, I mean a lot of dollars. There's a lot of currency in the world. And when Americans start getting scared of inflation, they're going to want something else. And if the stock market's crashing and Bitcoin's crashing, then they're not going to trust dollars. They're not going to trust stocks. They're not going to trust cryptos. They're going to want tangible metal, gold and silver. I think a lot of people will be priced out of gold because it will be high. He wasn't wrong in this comment in saying that it will be out of reach of a lot of people. But silver, I don't believe silver will be out of reach. I mean, even if silver goes to $100, there's still going to be people buying it. And the reason is because there's so much currency in the world. And that currency will eventually flow to safe havens. Yeah, coin dealers may not be able to stomach huge prices. But here's the thing. I've came in before to coin shops with certain coins and different places, not just coin shops, but resale shops and different stuff, pawn shops. One place that I had met up with, I had a coin that I wanted to try to work a deal out with someone. He took a picture of it. He sent the information to somebody, and we discussed it, and he said, how would you feel if he buys it? You just come in, do the swap out right there, and I'll take my cut of this much money. And I said, I am perfectly fine with that. And because he didn't want to stomach, he couldn't stomach that price value on that coin. And it's not always that he couldn't stomach it. It's also, some people don't want to tie up large amounts of money in one coin. You know, I mean, now an ounce of gold, just a cheap generic ounce of gold, you're talking $2,500, $2,600. And we're not even getting into collectible stuff at that point. So, you know, when you get into some of the expensive stuff, you have to understand that, yeah, there's going to be dealers out there. You know, a lot of people refer to a channel. I can't remember who it was. I almost want to say it was Silver Dragon's channel. And he had talked about, I guess, a coin deal. The coin guy that he works with or something, not buying on a Saturday. And, you know, here's the thing. There's a lot that happens on Saturday. The markets ain't open on Saturday. You know, gold hits an all-time high on a Friday. It's a little skittish to want to buy because you probably know there's going to be a pullback coming. And if you're in business to flip stuff, then it makes perfect sense you're not going to want to buy that day. You know, you've got to have opportunities to get out, and there's always going to be someone buying. I know people right now that would be more than willing to buy up someone's gold at $2,500 an ounce because they know $2,500 an ounce is going to go a whole lot higher. And I believe it's going to go a whole lot higher. And, I mean, shoot, I would even be interested in some gold at $2,500 an ounce. Why? Because spot price is that, and as long as spot price is that, anywhere I buy from, I'm going to pay a premium. So if I can get it at essentially spot, it's a good deal. I don't think that people will back down because when you think about the way things have played out in the past, you had gold at 400. No one would have ever thought of it getting up to 2,500. If you were told that, they would have been making that same argument. A lot of it comes down to desensitizing people to higher and higher prices. That's why every year you see gold going up a little higher because it doesn't take long before people get desensitized. I mean, it wasn't that long ago when I said online, I wish I could find the clip. I said in a video, I said, I ain't buying until silver comes back under 20, I ain't buying. I mean, it was only 22, 21 at the time, and I wasn't. And this was the very first time, though, that it went over 20. You know, this was not this previous February. So, you know, it was over, and, you know, I hadn't seen it. We hadn't seen it go up this high yet. You know, it shot all the way up to 22, and I said, I'm going to wait. And then it went to 23, 25, 28, 29. It never got over 30 until the recent run. Then it had that big pullback all the way down to 22. And then, you know, I mean, it shot back up again. So here's the thing you've got to understand. People are getting desensitized to $30 silver. $30 silver is nothing now. It's just the new 20. And more people, as they get desensitized to it, they're going to want to buy more of it. because it's already been in their brain now that everything is going up, including silver. Gold, $2,500 gold, it's in your brain. If all of a sudden we saw some crazy spike tomorrow where silver shot up to $100, of course there's going to be people that are going to be real skittish and not want to buy. But on the flip side, it doesn't go down like that usually. And when it does go down like that, it's because the world is just in total disarray. If the dollar is collapsing and silver shot up to $100, and we're hearing on the news every day the dollar is collapsing, because at that point, they ain't going to be able to keep it a secret. We've got secrecy right now on how great the economy is and how great the jobs numbers are and how low inflation is, and we're getting blasted with all this information, but it's not high enough to where people are just totally freaking out. I mean, yeah, I go to the grocery store, I'm a little sick to my stomach when I get a bag of groceries and it's $20, $25. I'm a little sick to my stomach when I live alone, essentially, and I see the price of everything going up. All my groceries, all my bills, everything I buy is going up in price. And to that extent, you have to understand that people at that point, if they're not flipping out now, can you imagine what they're going to be doing when you go to the store and buy a gallon of gas and it's like $8? A steak and it's like $35 for like 1 pound of steak? I mean, it's crazy at that point. People are going to realize what's going on, and they're going to want to put their dollars in precious metals. And they're not going to even want to keep them there. They're just going to want to buy the precious metals and then turn around and sell it when they need the money, because they're going to see what's happening. So in order to explain this too a little better for some other people, you have to understand, take Weimar Germany. So in Germany, inflation after the war was outrageous. Germany had to pay back war reparations, and they didn't have the money. They couldn't tax their people enough to pay it off, so they just had the bright idea, let's just print. We'll just print more money, and we'll pay off our reparations faster that way, and then we can start over. And, I mean, yeah, to a certain point, how do you pay it off? I mean, I can't say anything bad about that, because that's what I think the U.S. is going to do at some point. We're just going to have to print obscene amounts of money to pay off the debt, and then all of a sudden crash the dollar. And who's going to be left holding the bag? It's going to be you, us, Americans. I mean, someone out there is watching this video. It ain't going to be me. I ain't got mine in dollars. I mean, to a certain point, everybody's got a certain amount of dollars. You've got maybe some dollars in the bank. Maybe you don't have a lot, but you at least have enough to survive. You get your income in dollars. But during Weimar Germany, as that was happening, they were seeing inflation, like literally the prices were changing every hour. Literally. They couldn't even pay people at the end of the week. They had to pay them daily, and the people were in a rush to get rid of the money. It didn't matter what they bought with it. I mean, we know we're probably not going to get to the point, hopefully, where we're buying bricks in the street. Like, oh, hey, I'll buy 10 bricks from you just because it's a brick and someone will always need bricks. Hopefully people understand gold and silver is where it's at. But that too, alone, if everybody started flooding their money into gold and silver, the price is only going to continue to go higher at that point. So we don't want it to be too obscene. We don't want all the money necessarily to go into it. Otherwise, I can tell you, if you ain't got yours, you ain't going to get any, because the price will just be astronomical. It'll price out a lot of us. But I think we're going to see a slow and steady gradual climb. I think that it's not going to happen overnight. And as you see the price go up each time, the next jump, it will probably be $40. And then it will pull back down to $33, $34. And that's actually what I think will happen. $40 silver, and then a nice pullback into the low 30s. And people will stop buying for a little bit, thinking, maybe it's going to go back down into the 20s, and it will never happen. And then it will just slowly work its way back up to the 40s until one day it just has this huge jump into the 50s. And, once it gets through the 50s, that's going to be a psychological number for a lot of people. I think a lot of people will all of a sudden realize the truth about silver when it hits a new all-time high. And that's kind of scary too when you think about it. Because if everybody was into silver, can you imagine what the price would be? I mean, but you take a look right now, it's still a huge buying opportunity. And we're nowhere near a price where people aren't going to buy. Even though I say I'm going to slow down on buying because I want to start putting my money to a little bit more of enjoying life and fixing some stuff that's broken around my house, I still buy. I hate to say it. I still got to pick up a little stuff here and there. I'm actually hoping to meet with someone at the end of the week where I'm going to get a tube of Eagles from him, as he's been selling a little bit each week just to offset his expenses. He's out older, and he basically has been selling a little bit here and there, just enough to offset with his Social Security. And so I'm hoping I'll get a whole tube, or maybe I'll just get lucky and get a half a tube. But I'm hoping that I didn't want to put this up yet because this is a half a tube right here. And what I want to see happen is him give up a brand new tube, because I actually have to split this with a friend of mine, because it's not really my connection, it's his connection, but he don't want to risk that much. He has to buy a roll every week or every other week, but he don't want to risk as much money as a full roll. So he usually asks me, hey, will you split the roll with me? Yep. And what I'm hoping to do is give him those 10 and then get the sealed roll and put the sealed roll up. I don't know why. I had the idea the other day. I was like, man, I'd be better off with the sealed roll instead of a bunch of half a rolls. So we'll see what happens on that. But yeah, prices are only going to continue to go up. And as panic sets in, people are going to be flocking to find people selling precious metals because they're going to want to buy some. And there's a lot of money out there. And here's the thing. Let's just say you've been saving that dry powder of maybe you've got $3-4 grand saved up. If all of a sudden you're seeing the purchasing power get washed away real quick, how quick will you be buying some silver? At that point, the prices are going to be higher, and you're just going to get stuck paying it. That's why I tell people, in my personal opinion, as low as it is, we're at like $28 silver right now. That's a buying opportunity. Spot price 28. Do I think it could go lower? It could if the markets crash. This is going to be a rough month. But, excuse me, I don't mean to yawn. It's just super late for me. I tend to do these videos late or early in the morning. So, as the prices climb, you're not going to have a hard time, I don't believe, selling. I don't believe it for a minute. I think there'll be a lot more buyers. The premiums will be through the roof. Look what happened in 2011. American Silver Eagles with $30 premium, $50 silver. $50 silver and a $30 premium. Think of that. $80 for an ounce of silver. That's a 60% premium. Can you imagine that for a minute? 60% premium? But you know what? If you either pay it or you don't, somebody else will. And they were selling like hotcakes. I can tell you right now, if I had seen that big jump, I probably would have been selling some. $30 over spot, even 20 over spot. I would have tried to undercut the dealers. It is what it is. It's just business. So when people say that no one's going to be able to buy it, I don't really believe that. I think that people will be buying it. There might be a few exceptions, maybe a couple businesses that are scared, that don't really believe in it, or maybe they have some. But here's another thing too, and I've said this numerous times. If you can't afford gold, because gold is $3,000-$4,000, do you think the coin shops are going to have more gold or more silver? When gold goes up to, we'll say for a minute, $3,000 gold, and silver goes up to, $40 silver, do you think the average person is going to be buying silver, or do you think they're going to be buying gold? My personal opinion, they're going to be buying silver, which means coin shops will have a little bit extra gold on hand. They might be slow to buy gold, but they'll see that silver is getting bought up faster. And then that gives you the opportunity to trade some of your silver for some of their gold. Now, somebody might say, why would you want gold if no one's buying it? Here's the thing. I'm in it for the long haul. I've said that from the get-go. At this point, I honestly have been contemplating stopping buying silver. But then I've said, what do you do? The cash that comes in, the money that comes in every month, whether it's work, whether it's retirement, whether it's whatever, what do you do with that money? You just hold it in cash? Some people would say, go spend it, enjoy it. And yeah, that's true. But you know what? Some people, they have a saver's mentality. And I'll be honest, I have a saver's mentality. I had someone teasing me, one of my friends, because, you guys, if you follow Discord, there's some jokes out there about me, and that's all good. I mean, I've even had people here in the comments, okay, what's the one? My precious? I can't remember his name. Gollum, I think is his name. I've had some people joke about me being that Gollum. Oh, my precious. Lord of the Rings joke. Because I do like gold. I do put gold and silver above frivolous spending. I had someone tease me one time. They're like, really, you're not going to pay $1 extra for cheese on your burger because it's $1? It's not like you ain't got it. Truth of the matter is, it doesn't have the value to me. $1? I said the hamburgers are $1.99. I'm going to pay 50% more for a piece of cheese? No. I'm going to go home and eat anyway. And I'm going to end up putting a piece of cheese on it at home. That's it. So I know that sounds weird to some people, but it's a saver's mentality. I don't want to be frivolous with my money right now. Why? Because I have an end goal. I do. At a certain point, I want to be living on a nice island in the Philippines, relaxing, spending my days. Will I stay there? I don't know, but could some stuff change and all of a sudden the whole dollar will collapse and everything? And that may happen. And if that does happen, that may stop me from going because all of a sudden the dollar ain't as good over there anymore. But I'll still have my precious metals to fall back on. I don't want to be... I have one friend that he gives me such a hard time. He goes, what if you passed away tomorrow? And I should save this actually for a video because this gets down a whole nother video. Okay, let's say I pass away. I said the same argument. What if I don't pass away tomorrow? What if I live to 90? It will work out. I don't like that. I don't like that saying. It will work out. It will just work out. I want to make sure that I'm not a burden on my kids. I want to make sure that I'm not a burden on somebody. And I don't believe that the government's going to be there with Social Security by the time I am 90 or whatever. And I don't want to be working at Walmart or begging someone for a job or sitting on the corner asking for handouts. I want to make sure that I've planned. So many people today, I believe they just live life to the fullest, like there's no tomorrow. Like they live life like they might pass away today. The problem is, if you don't pass away today, then you're going to have a horrible tomorrow. That's a fact. So, you can either live today for tomorrow or live tomorrow for today. I don't know. I mean, it's a toss-up. You don't know the future. I'd rather save, and if I passed away, then someone's going to get a nice collection. Hopefully they don't cash it in a bank for 10 cents a piece. But needless to say, it's 24 minutes, so I'm going to wrap up here. I thank everybody for watching. Don't be worried that no one's going to be buying when the price goes up. I thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another great topic, another great video. Feel free to leave any comments because your comments do generate future videos. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.